Welcome back, everybody, to the Good Old Hockey Podcast. This is episode number 53. 53. I'm here, Sean, with my co-host, Alan. We've got an exciting episode. We're going to be talking about the World Junior Championship. If you know us, we are some red-blooded Americans, and we're very happy with the outcome. I don't think anyone that listens is going to be a fan of this episode if you're from Canada. So click off unless you want to get mad. And you can leave hate comments all you want. We don't care. But before we get into that, Alan, how was your week? How did the new year start off for you?
New Year started off well. Went to the Idaho potato drop, which was an interesting experience. Never done that before. For those of you who aren't in Idaho, obviously Idaho is known for potatoes.
It's just a big old potato that just gets dropped.
It's just
right in front of the Capitol.
It's like, think about the New York Times New York's, what do they call it? Times Square. There we go. I had some of the right words.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball. Idaho, we drop a potato. Because why not? It's also significantly smaller. There were probably 4,000 people there, whereas Times Square has, millions or whatever. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Never been. But it was a good experience. Went to a Idaho Steelheads game. Watched the boys lose to the Utah Grizzlies. It was the worst hockey game I think I've ever watched live. The Steelhead. I mean, you go to an ECHL game, you're not expecting NHL quality hockey, but it was brutal. It looked like a beer league team playing a professional hockey team. But lost 4-1. Had a good night. It was a good time.
Nice. Yeah. The because we released an episode on the 1st of January, but this is the first recording that we're having in the new year. So 2025 is upon us. And honestly, that always means a good thing when the new year hits, because that means the NHL is only heating up.
It also means Sean's birthday is only 2 days away, at least from the date that we dropped our last episode. Late happy birthday to you, buddy.
Yeah, 25.
25.
So, feel very old. Officially hit unk status, as my brother said. So that's awesome. No longer. I feel like, I don't know, 25 is a weird age, because I feel like every time before that, you're just like, I'm in my early 20s, but now I'm in my mid 20s now, which is just weird to think about.
I think 24 is mid 20s too, but
it is, but you just don't think about it. Yeah, you're just like, kind of. I'm kind of mid 20s, but I was also like not able to buy beer 4 years ago. So
you can rent a car now.
I can,
at least for a lot cheaper than the premium under 25 fee.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Can you stop?
You don't have to do that, or you don't have to pay the premium that you normally do.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get on to it. We're going to look at the leaderboards for stats, just with the new month coming in. So as of right now, with points, we've got Nathan McKinnon clearly in the lead. Well, not clearly. He's up by 6 points behind Alan's favorite player, Leon Draisaitl. He's got 65 points. I don't know how many. Let's see. Let's click on his name. Currently, he's at 14 goals and 51 assists, which is very impressive. That
he's
51
got the
assists
lead
assists.
9.
Yeah. By 9? Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's impressive. And then Leon Draisaitl second. We got Mika Rantanen, Mitch Marner, all around the same, hovering around that same number, 59, 57, 56. Goals. Alan, how do you feel about this one? Leon Draisaitl's leading the league in goals with 29.
I'm not very happy about this, especially because it's such a decisive lead too. He's leading by next closest guy is Mika Rantanen, Kirill Kaprizov. Oh, there's a few guys tied for second. Yeah. We got a five-way tie for second at the time of recording this video, but the next closest guys are at 23 goals, which means he's leading the league in goals by 6. I'm not very happy about it, because he didn't do this the year I had him in fantasy. Asshole.
How dare him? How dare him, honestly.
How
Leon,
dare
if you're
he?
listening, you need to make sure you do this when Alan picks you in fantasy, dumbass.
I'm never picking him again in fantasy. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Anyways,
onward. The goaltending stats, we got Connor Hellebuyck in the lead for goals against. with 2.09 goals against. In second, Anthony Stolarz, which this list here, well, over the top five. Top five, we got Connor Hellebuyck, Stolarz, Jacob Markstrom, Philip Gustafson, and Darcy Kemper. Honestly, Stolarz and Darcy Kemper Stolarz in particular is a new face to be at the top of the league against. I haven't caught too many Maple Leafs games, so I don't really know how they're playing. I'm pretty sure they lost to Boston the other night. But in save percentage, Stolarz is number one as well. 0.927. And second isn't far behind with Hellebuyck and Gustafson at 0.926. So it's a pretty close race between those three. Also, Mackenzie Blackwood, 0.917 in fifth. Pretty impressive. Good for him. As Sharks fans, we love to see success.
Absolutely.
Especially out of him. Like, he's a great goalie. Wish we could have kept him along, but, the way it goes when you're rebuilding, you can't really keep some of those pieces that you'd like to.
It's a business.
Yeah. And return from him. So, but glad to see he's doing well. And then let's see who the rookie leaderboard right now. I want to say off the top of my head, top three. Lane Hutson's number one. I want to say now after tonight's game, recording this on Monday. Michkov is 2. Celebrini is 3. So we talked about last episode. I'm sure these are all going to be. There's going to be a tight race here. I have a feeling.
I think Philly also plays tonight on the day of this recording, so this could change. Oh no, they don't play tonight. Never mind.
They probably
I'm
play
a
tomorrow.
filthy liar. Yeah, they play the Leafs tomorrow. The Sharks play the Knights tomorrow, so this could all change.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny. They've kind of been those three guys have been bouncing back and forth for the lead since the season started, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, after Mac got back from injury, but those three guys have been bouncing back and forth between the leaders. It is pretty cool to see a defenseman up there. Obviously, I think we talked about this last week. Hudson's kind of a fourth forward out there.
Yeah.
But it is pretty cool to see. And then after that, you got a bunch of guys who are, the youngest guy after him that I can see in the top 6 is Logan Stankoven, who's like 21.
Yeah.
So those three guys are the only guys that really consider rookies towards the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, we talked about this a bit off air. Honestly, I think if you're over the age of 21, you're no longer a rookie. I think goalies kind of have a little bit of a leeway just because it's a little bit harder to develop. But I just think
if you buy a beer, you shouldn't be competing with an 18-year-old,
No. 18, 19, 20, that's totally valid. They're young. 21's still young, don't get me wrong. But it's just I get it. It's their first year, the NHL. But then you look at it and you're like, I think that's why Macklin won the Hobie last year was because he was 17. There's a lot of, very deserving people last year to win that award. But I think him being 17 was a big factor in why he won that award. So hopefully they take that into account with the Calder. We'll see. Season not over yet. But the next thing, we haven't talked about this in a while because he's been hurt, but we're back to the OV goal tracker. The man,
Heck yeah,
the myth,
we are.
The legend is back. He had a broken, tibia?
Fibula, something? I think.
Yeah, broken leg.
One of the legs.
Yeah,
one of
some
the
part of
shin
your leg.
bones.
Yeah, got hurt. He has had 4 goals in the last 6 games played. As of Monday. He played tonight, didn't score. But still, 4 goals in the last 6 games he's played is just unbelievable. This guy's a gamer. He, I think, really wants to break that record this year. And he's on pace for it.
So it's kind of funny. I'm looking at it right now. So they list, let's see here. They list the top 50 on NHL.com, at least on the first page, right?
Yeah.
He is currently 15th in scoring, and the next lowest games played, he's played 24 games played at this point in time. The next lowest games played that I'm seeing is, let's see here. There's a couple guys with 31 games played, and they're down. Ivan Barbashev and Dmitry Vurakanov have 31 games played, and they're 4 or 5 goals less than him, which is kind of funny. It's just crazy how he's still producing at this.
Yeah.
I say this old of an age. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, 39 is not old.
No.
But like in the NHL, that's ancient. Yeah. And he's still producing at a top 15 scorer. He's well above point per game.
Yeah.
He's got 30 points in 24 games. It's insane.
Yeah, I think he would be, because what is he at? 19 goals? How many goals is he
at 19 goals.
Yeah. And Draisaitl has 29 goals. I think if Gretzky didn't get hurt, it's fair to say that he would be in that leaderboard, if not one. He was on such a roll when he got hurt, but clearly it hasn't affected anything, and he's still chugging along. And
Draisaitl has 15 games played more than him and 10 more goals. Ovi's kind of scoring at that pace right now.
Yeah,
he might be in first. I don't know.
Yeah, he very well. Yeah, and there's still a lot of hockey left to be played. I don't know what game, how many games played does roughly everyone have?
Most of pretty much everybody's around halfway through the season. Okay. Around the 39 to 42 games played.
Okay.
For the most part. So
we're at the halfway point.
The season.
Yeah.
He's at 19 goals. With that injury, he might still hit 40, which is ridiculous for a 39-year-old. He'll be 40 at the end of the season, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, at his age, if he scores more goals than his age, that's nuts.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Like when you're a kid, obviously that's pretty normal. But for a 39-year-old to have more goals than his age, it's insane. And he's definitely going to break the record. I don't know. Your thought was February. I don't think that's a possibility anymore.
The injury derailed it. I stick with that. If he hadn't gotten hurt, he would have beaten the record in February. But
yes, I think we should hang that banner.
I think we should. Nashville.
Yeah.
Put a banner up. This random guy beat the scoring title. Nashville is going to hang a banner for him.
Yeah. Not a random guy. It's Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, hang the banner, Capitals.
I said he was in 15th. I don't really know why. I said he's tied for 11th in scoring, and he missed. He's got 15 less games played than pretty much everybody else above him, which is just wild.
Yeah,
that's just
very
ridiculous.
Impressive. Ovi, hats off to you.
Yeah.
I think he can hit it. Realistically, there's only 4 months left of hockey.
Yep.
As of like today.
Knowing Ovi, it'll probably be like an empty net goal on the last game of the season. And then everybody's going to talk about, how many empty netters does he have? Because Canadians like to, they like to, what's the term? Gatekeep hockey. They're like, nobody else can be good at hockey, only Canada.
Yep.
They're going to be, Gretzky's the best goal scorer ever. Blah, blah, blah. Shut up.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's not true. Gretzky's last season, assuming this is Ovi's last season, Gretzky's last season, the guy had 53 assists, which is impressive, but only 9 goals. Like we said before, this is no shade to Wayne Gretzky. He's the greatest hockey player of all time, all around. But he played against some losers in net, I will say. Just some jabronis that didn't know how to go down for a butterfly. So it's like, I don't know. I don't really want to, not discrediting Gretzky at all, but what Alex Ovechkin is doing with the game of hockey, where it's at now, and how goalies play and how good goalies are, is just so impressive.
Yeah.
And he'll go down as the greatest goal scorer ever.
I think
once he's done, he already is. In all honesty.
Yeah, I think he passed that up 3 years ago. Yeah, You can't win 9 Rocket Richards and not be considered the greatest goal scorer ever. Like, that just does. He's won one more than every other year of his career. That's insane.
Yeah.
That guy's unreal.
No,
Anyways, let's talk crap about Canada.
Yeah. Speaking of
my favorite
Canadians,
segment.
All right. So World Juniors, the USA, not even just the USA. We'll get off the USA for a second. Canada loses to Latvia, the United States, and Czechia in not even a medal game. Canada placed 5th at the World Juniors.
Canada, 5th. What happened?
Yeah. And this is their sport. And, there's a lot of things wrong, I think, with that team. But a couple points. A lot of people say, oh, this is their B- team, blah, 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 all this stuff. Honestly, and like I just read this in an article the other day. It doesn't really, you can't just pick the best players and expect them to win. Mm-hmm. Obviously, at the same time, they tried to do the approach of like, oh, we got to pick kids with good character. Their character sucked because they did not win. So there's that. But I don't think that, even if you did pick some of the best players, a lot of players were left off, sure. Is there politics involved? I don't know. I'm not in the backstage behind, what goes on at Hockey Canada. Mm-hmm. There might be rumors of stuff that's happened. Sure. Cool. But guess what? You lost 3 times. You don't deserve anything. And you had home ice advantage all playoff or the whole tournament. You had home ice advantage. Yep. So there's really no excuse for what happened other than the USA dominates hockey.
So I love this so much. I love that whole Canada's bringing their B- team, right? I love that statement because I'm just looking through the rookie leaderboard. There's like 5 guys on here that are American and that are under the age of 21 years old currently, right? You can't just go around and say, oh, well, if my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike, right? It makes no fucking sense. The tournament is set up this way. NHL players typically don't go. By the way, Chicago could have released Connor Bedard to go play, right? I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they could have released Connor Bedard. If you're under the age of 20, you're eligible for the tournament. There are guys in there that have played NHL games. So, like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter who the hell was there and who the hell wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
You still lost the fucking tournament to Czechia in a non-medal round for the 2nd year in a row.
Yeah.
By the way, the U.S. then went on to beat Czechia pretty convincingly.
And also, Canada wants to say, "Oh, we beat Finland. Finland beat you." Well, guess who won? Guess who beat Finland in the gold medal game? The U.S. of A. Baby.
We shut out Finland. Shut up. Who cares? We lost to us.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That too.
Get fucked.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm swearing a lot. I love shitting on Canada. It might be my favorite thing to do. I find it really funny. I love seeing the comments, oh, 20 gold medals. Guess what? Since 2010, most of the guys who are in the league, by the way, were drafted after 2010, right? This is just how it is. Since 2010, the U.S. has won more gold medals than Canada, which is crazy, right? That's crazy to think about. Guess what? It's not your sport anymore.
Yeah.
Get rocked.
Also don't have a Stanley Cup.
Now, you also haven't won a Stanley Cup in 30 years. Now, people are going to say to that point, oh, well, if Russia was in the tournament, they'd take away gold medals from both teams, right? Because they probably would have. Russia's consistently producing insane hockey talent, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's still, if my grandma wheel should be a bike. Like, it doesn't matter.
Hang the banner, Canada.
Hang the banner. Hypothetical.
Would have won. Put it in asterisks. Would have won if we had Zane Parekh and this guy and that. No. Guess what? You don't have him, so you didn't win. Yeah. It's simple as that.
It's so great. I think the hockey community is a better place when Canada loses games, and lose important games, right? There's realistically nobody cares about the IHF like men's championships, right? Nobody watches that shit. NHL players don't go. Yeah. This is the next best thing to the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
At least the Olympics when NHL players were going.
Yeah.
And Canada sucked at it for the last 15 years. And I think that's a great thing. I think it's hilarious. Yeah. It makes me very happy.
Yeah. And if there is backstage political mess, that goes into picking these players, okay.
Figure it out.
Stop then. Figure it out. Yeah. US doesn't have that problem because we've won. And at the end of the day, I think overall, aside getting away from Canada because they're below us, so we're not going to pay attention because I don't want to be punching down anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be looking at what we have going and what was great about the tournament is the players that the U.S. has. Ryan Leonard, the captain, signer. This is in Ken right here, actually.
Beast. Ryan Leonard's a beast.
He's a beast. Cole Eiserman.
Canada hates him.
Who was, Cole Eiserman, who hit the I can't hear you celebration.
He also, funny enough, those two guys, I've been seeing a lot on the internet about how, basically everyone was hating both Ryan Leonard and Cole Hudson. Cole Hudson because of the selling, Ryan Leonard because he's Ryan Leonard, right?
Wait,
Cole Eiserman.
Oh,
or Cole Hudson, pardon me. Wrong Cole. Cole Hudson hit that celly, right?
I thought.
No, it was Hudson. Maybe they both did it.
I don't know. I know Cole Eiserman did the Superman chest, and he also yelled at that dude on Team Canada who's
Easton Cowan.
Yeah, Cowboy. He was like, "Fuck you, Cowboy," or something like that. He just he hit a dirty play. I don't remember exactly what happened, but
God bless America. He ran a guy into the boards from behind.
Yeah, that's right. And also the cherry on top was Freebird as their goal song. That is what single-handedly won them this tournament. Once I heard that game one, I was like, yep, we're winning gold.
Hell yeah.
And I hope to God that during the Four Nations tournament, that's going to resolve this storyline beef for the rest of the season. If Canada wins that Four Nations tournament, I don't know about you, Alan, but I will graciously bow my head and say, good job. You guys won a stupid tournament.
I said this might have been a stupid take, right? I said this might be a horrible take. My conscience is clean. I don't really care. And the U.S. just won the World Junior Championship on Canadian soil. The U.S. has won it 7 times. 4 times it's been in Canada, which is hilarious. This is great. Yeah. It's fantastic. Let's go over the stats real quick. It's just the basic stats. So starting out, the leader in points for the tournament was Cole Hudson, defenseman, which is interesting. Hit 11
Lane
points
Hudson's
in
brother.
7 games. Yep.
If you guys couldn't put that together.
Second, well, these are all tied. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys with 10 points. But the way that the World Junior Championship has it ranked is Jakob Stonsel. He had 7 goals, 3 assists in 10 games played. Ryan Leonard in third with 5 goals, 5 assists. You have Axel Sandin Pelika with 4 goals, 6 assists. And then Gabe Perreault, 3 goals and 7 assists. Just looking down the list, there's a bunch of notable names here, guys that were drafted pretty high up that had great tournaments. But one big one, James Higgins, playing as an underager. He's underager. He's 18 right now because he could wear the half shield.
Not undrafted is what you meant.
Undrafted, yeah. Had 9 points, 5 goals, 4 assists in 7 games played. It's a good tournament out of that guy. To my knowledge, he led all undrafted players in points. Yeah, looks like he did.
How did was there any Canadians on that list?
Funny enough, we were talking about this beforehand. So
I know I said I wasn't going to punch down, but I'm going to punch down for a second. Any Canadians on that list?
No, there aren't. So the IHF ranks 30 players, right?
Yeah.
And looking at it, it looks like they rank in order of how many goals they scored. So the guys with the most goals, if they're tied, go number one. There is a Latvian and a German on this list. Now I've been watching the World Junior Championships for a while, right? Germany is normally the worst team in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
There's a German at 18th, Julius Sumpf. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Had 7 goals in 5 games. Now Canada played 5 games, and there is not a single guy up here with at least 5 points, which is pretty funny. And then,
Not even Gavin McKinnon?
Nope. And then Eriks Matejko from Latvia. He was a big-time goal scorer. I watched the recap of all the Latvian games. I didn't watch an actual Latvian game besides the U.S. one. It seemed like he scored every goal for them, which was insane. I believe he scored 2 in the Canada game and then had the shootout winner. Pretty sure he scored against the U.S. It was like he scored every goal for them, which I find pretty funny. But either way, I find it awesome that there's not a single Canadian on this list. It makes my heart warm.
Our sport. Our sport.
We'll go to goalkeepers. Now, there is a Canadian here. Carter George. He led the tournament in, I got to make this full size. Led the tournament in save percentage. He had a 935, 7 goals against, 1.76 goals against average. I want to say he played 4 games. Then you have Petteri Rimpinen out of Finland, Leonards Feldbergs, which we talked a little bit about when we were making fun of Canada for losing to Latvia last week. He was the 3rd best goalie in the tournament. He had a 929 save percentage, and he was facing a lot of shots. He faced 30 less shots than Petteri Rimpinen from Finland and played 2 less games. He also played every minute of Latvian hockey. Then you have Michael Raubel and Trey Augustine from Czech and the U.S. respectively. All had good tournaments. Pretty interesting. Any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that?
Honestly, Canada, I wouldn't be worried too much because you're about to become the 51st state. So you're going to have all of our medals, and we're going to have all of yours. So,
dude, it'll be great. We'll be a superpower. Think about it. And you guys can be good at basketball finally.
True.
Thoughts? The CFL can merge with the NFL, and all the CFL teams will get stomped every week. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I think they can keep that.
I don't want the CFL.
Yeah.
Although they
CFL
do
it's cool. It's interesting. I will give them that. And it's a place where some players can go to play. Like, the NFL doesn't have a deep system like the NHL does or baseball. Yeah. So we can maybe take those players, but
not a football podcast, right?
Nope.
But I would like to see the missed field goal. You can run it back.
Yes.
I would like to see that implemented in the NFL. That'd be sick.
Yeah, there are some CFL rules I will say that would benefit the American game.
Yeah.
But what do I know? Okay, one thing I want to bring up I forgot to tell you about, but TikTok. So I posted a clip last week about how it was the jersey comment that we made.
Mm-hmm.
Just about how, if you're wearing a jersey of a different player, like, is it weird kind of thing, right? We talked about that. Is it weird to wear another man's jersey on the back? Ultimately, we came up with just like, it's really not that deep. And then we're probably going to, but the nature of the internet, everyone thinks that we're serious. Again, top comment, once again, quote, they need to make podcast equipment more expensive. Thanks, buddy. Jersey is fine, IMO. If you have a player as your wallpaper / social media account is where it gets a little weird. I said, fair point.
I agree with that.
Blank jerseys are dust. If an 18-year-old is cold, I'll be a fan of the kid. Like, I've never understood this logic. Based in jealousy, ? I said, just hypothetical. Blank jerseys are lame, so being honest, we'll probably not actually care that much when we get older. LOL.
Also, I was wearing an 18-year-old's jersey in that clip.
Someone said, y'all are thinking about it too much, to which I said, yes, we are.
Absolutely.
Someone said, literally couldn't be more normal. It's a player on the team. Why do you people think it's weird? LOL. I said, some people do think it's weird. We were just posing the question. It's not that deep. Yep, I know. Once you turn like 20 to 22, you shouldn't be buying names on the back. I said, I still might do it. So we had a lot of people agreeing with us. There were some, let me go to the banned comments, the ones that won't show up. Someone said, is it gay to like football? Which I don't know what that meant, so I just didn't say it. Someone said, it seems like you're just insecure. Fuck off.
Damn.
So the photo I used as the front was a photo of Drake in a Maple Leafs jersey, just because it's Drake. Someone said Drake is a fan of kids born in 2010 with the emoji. And that was like one of the first comments.
That's awesome.
Like, oh, okay. Someone brought something into like, I don't remember what it was. It was just something like about gayness or being homophobic. And I was like, that's literally not what this is about at all. This couldn't be further from the truth. I don't know what you're reaching for, person with flags in your emoji or in your bio, but that's not what we're talking about there. So
wait, so we were being homophobic?
Yeah. I was like, how? We're talking about jerseys.
I said it was questionable for a 40-year-old man to wear an 18-year-old man's jersey.
Yeah, I don't know. They had a rainbow flag and a Ukraine flag in their bio, so naturally, But yeah, I just want to bring that up. Comments are always so funny. So
drop some hate comments, please.
Yeah, they're funny to respond to. They're fun to react to. Some of them do hit hard, though. I'm like, okay, you don't need to be.
Holy,
like some
what
of them
nose.
Yeah, when you comment on like, I might get shit for this pimple on my lip today, but honestly, it's like whatever. I guarantee you are fucking ugly. Whoever's commenting.
Don't worry about it. My nose is going over the pimple right now.
Thanks. It's the other way. But yeah, TikTok. Go follow. I've been posting on my TikTok at Sean Dovell. You can go down below Alan. His Instagram and Twitter. I'm not very active on Twitter right now, but on Instagram, there's comments on there as well. So feel free to interact and either defend us or hate on us. We don't care, whichever way you want to swing. But that brings us towards the end. We haven't done this in a while, so we're going to do it. We're going to do our Sharks rant. So if you're a Sharks fan, stick around. If you want to hear us talk about the Sharks, stick around. If you don't want to hear us, turn us off. Because we are kind of crazy and delusional. But we thank you for listening to most of the episode, and we'll see you next week. But for those of you that want to hear it, here we go. So the Sharks in 2025 are undefeated. And I feel great. As time of recording, they play on Tuesday, so we'll see. But a notable player right now is Askarov. And I've actually been able to watch the last two games live. And I will say that man scares the hell out of me playing the puck so bad, but he has not been scored on yet. So I'm not really, I'm not going to hate on the guy for it.
He did like 11 seconds into his Sharks debut though.
Oh,
that was from him playing the puck, turn the puck over. Yeah.
But he hasn't done it since. And he like toe dragged the guy one game.
Every single goalie has the dream and aspiration of being a forward, right? It's just how it goes, right? You're stuck back there. You're sitting back in your own net. You're like, plays down in the other zone. You're like, oh, I'm bored. What can I do to make life interesting right now? I'm going to try and score a goal every time I touch the puck. It's an intrusive thought. Now, most goalies in the NHL are pretty good at battling that, right? Unless they have a perfect opportunity. Askarov does not seem like he's very good at battling that, and I love him because of that.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. It's like, I'm sure once the Sharks are back in the playoffs and he's in the pipes, he's going out for stupid plays behind the net, like in overtime in a game 7, I'm going to be pretty pissed off. But for right now, it's hilarious. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's fun. It truly is funny, and like, I think also, I mean, who played like? Didn't Martin Brodeur play like that? Like he was very just aggressive.
Yes,
I mean,
they implemented
Askarov,
the trapezoid rule because of Martin Brodeur.
True. And I'm hoping, this is just my hopeful side, but I'm hoping Askarov turns into that, like a player that transcends the game, a goalie that transcends the game in playing the puck, because he has some serious nuts on him.
Yeah,
and I tip my hat to it, because it's impressive. Like I got to give him his flowers. Like he's made the right decisions. There's been a couple, like one or two, where I'm just like, okay, buddy, like
dial it in,
back it up. Yeah, but we don't get scored on. So I again, but
you can
outside of that, like, yeah, go ahead.
He's one of those guys that just oozes with confidence, right?
Yeah,
and he thinks he can do everything, which obviously he can't. But as your starting goalie, that's what you want, right? You want a guy who thinks, you could be, 6 games deep into a playoff series and you've been outshot every game of the series, and you're like, I'm gonna fucking shut this team out right now. That's what you want. You want a guy, neck tattoo. He does bench presses with the net shutouts. Like, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think he's insane. He's been fantastic for the Sharks. Also, he's had one like mediocre game, and that's playing on the 24-25 San Jose Sharks. Is not a team that's really known for defense. Yeah. He's genuinely been fantastic.
Yeah, he has. And the Sharks, they've had their share of, losing streaks, which they're the second worst team in the league right now.
Yeah.
Almost. Maybe after tomorrow they'll be ahead of Nashville. But
I hope so.
I hope so too. But
fuck you, Tim.
We we need to rebuild, and it's like I don't care. Like, I just want to watch fun hockey. And this next part I'm going to bring up, Graf, Celebrini, and Smith line has been just so, like, it's just so fun to watch. And like, even just Celebrini and Smith together off the ice, they have a lot of chemistry. You can tell they're jokesters. They're, media's paying attention to them, giving them, a lot of spotlight. That one assist by Macklin with him diving, and then Smith behind the back pass, and then, all that, like, just like watching them play together is just like so fun to watch. And Graf is, kind of I feel like people kind of overlook the fact that we have him as well and what he did at the NCAA level. I mean, he was a Hobie finalist.
2 years in a row, too.
Yeah.
Colin Graf was 2 years in a row. He was Quinnipiac's best player, and Quinnipiac is a very good program.
Yeah.
It's year in, year out. They never seem to have any like big name young guys.
Yeah.
But they are consistently competing for the Frozen Four, which is to be the best player on that team 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
I'm not
Mike
mad
Greer,
at it.
to be able to get for free agent, like he was a free agent signing, and I don't know, it was probably a mixture of Smith and the potential of Celebrini that got him to sign. It's a rebuilding team, and it's like, you're 23, or no, he's 21.
22 now.
22 now. Okay. So he's, trying to battle for a spot in the NHL, and it's going to be a lot easier on a rebuilding team to do that than to go sign with, a competing team. Like, it's a lot rougher. Yep. So honestly, hats off to Mike Greer. He's done an amazing this year in general, and trade deadline hasn't even hit yet. But in the last 365 days, got rid of Hurdle, which then turned into Askarov. Got, the first overall pick, which was a bit of luck, but, still did it.
They were also the worst team in hockey by far.
That too. Like, they
deserved it.
Yeah.
Us Sharks fans deserve that. If you watched a single Sharks game last season,
it was. If you did watch a single game last year, like, hats off to you as a Sharks fan, because I did not catch many of them, because it's bad hockey. Wasn't much of a bright spot, and it's not that this year's. There's some games where it's brutal, but there's also a lot of games where they're still in it. And yeah, they might lose or lose in overtime, blow a lead, whatever. They're still in it half the time. And that's all you can ask for as a fan of a rebuilding team.
So it was funny. Last season, I watched through like the first 10 games pretty much. Got to those 2 games where the Sharks let in 10 goals back to back. And I had like a self-reflecting moment. I was like, why am I spending my life witnessing this when I could just look at NHL.com, 4 hours after when I'm going to bed and go, that's brutal, and then go to bed.
Yeah.
Why did I spend my time watching this? But this year it was complete like 360, not 360, be complete 180.
I would say, 180. Because I would say like there wasn't many games. Truthfully, I did not watch many games. I was paying attention to other teams so I can, talk on the podcast. But yeah, there was no one to watch either. Like we didn't have anything. We had Eklund. Yeah. William Eklund was fun to watch, but he was out there with no one. And even this season, he's awesome to watch. And I think, I told or texted you this, like this year exactly. I was like, people would ask some of my friends that are Sharks fans, but don't necessarily keep up with the Sharks, or they're just from the Bay Area and want to support the Sharks, but they're not like big hockey fans. They're like, realistically, like how far are the Sharks away from being contenders again? And I was like, honestly, like 2029. And while that may still be true, we can at least hope for maybe a playoff spot in the next 3 years, maybe.
I think a couple more drafts, getting high overall defensemen, and this team's a playoff team in a couple seasons. Because once you have your drafted core, defensemen do typically take longer to develop into like regular NHL players, right?
Yeah.
Which it's just the name of the game. It's just like goalies, right?
Yeah.
Where a forward could come in and make an impact at 18, 19, 20. A defenseman probably won't. But like once you have those guys and they're developing, then you can just go out, make a splash in free agency. The Sharks have cap room for days once those contracts are off the books. I think they're retaining on Hurdle. Vlasic will be gone, I think, next season. Highly doubt he's going to get re-signed. Yeah. Couture will probably get bought out if he never plays a game again. That's another thing that's kind of interesting. The Sharks have been doing this entire season. They haven't had their captain.
Yeah.
Which, who knows if that guy will ever play another NHL game.
I don't know what it's going to be. I haven't heard any timeline of him coming back at all. And he's only 30. I think he's like 31, 32.
Yeah, so he's drafted in 2009, so would that make him? He's probably 33.
Yeah. Okay.
32,
yeah.
33.
Vlasic is 37 or so. He's getting paid $8 million a year. So, like, once we kind of clear, and even then, we do have room right now. I just think you'd rather save it for when you have to re-sign some of these guys.
Because you're going to have to pay Celebrini.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll probably give him.
If he keeps doing what he's doing, in 3 years, what's he gonna be worth?
We're looking at a McDavid, maybe not that much, but probably more than that. If he's 21, he's well over point a game. That's like a $15 million contract once the cap goes up. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like comparable players that got re-signed. Like
Uri Slafkovsky got like $9 million. Or 8 mil,
that's what I was thinking. Like Cole Caulfield had 8.5, but I think Celebrini is going to be doing more than So it could be a 10 mil contract at and who knows? I mean,
that'd be crazy.
All those guys. Bedard, I'm curious what he'd be getting paid.
That'll probably shape the Celebrini contract. To be honest,
it'll probably break some records too for youngest NHL player to
making 10 mil.
10
plus.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But as we know about $10 million contracts, we'll see if it's worth. I mean, whatever it is for celebrating, you got to pay him. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And try to get an 8-year deal out of it because he is worth it.
Lock him up.
Yeah. Don't give him a bridge.
As long as possible. Sorry, buddy. You got to stick in San Jose.
I think he likes it.
Go home to Vancouver during the winters. I don't care. Or during the summers. I don't
care.
You're staying here.
You don't want to be there. Like, you don't want to be in Vancouver in the winter anyways. It's cold, gross. San Jose is 70 degrees. Nice
sunny
out.
Most of the time.
Yeah. It's pretty nice there. So stay there, please. Please.
Yeah. He'll buy a house in Tracy to be able to afford it.
Yeah. Well, not if he's getting paid what he's getting paid. He'll be chilling. Honestly, he's fine with what he's got now. How much is he making? 900,000 a year?
Something like that. It's 925 or whatever the minimum is. 975.
He's living with Jumbo.
Yeah. He's stacking the bag.
him and Smith, here's what's going to happen. I think after maybe they'll live there another season, but if not, they're going to go live in Santana Row above
probably
him and Smith, and they're going to go out every night.
They're going to go to Ozumo every single night, get some sushi. It'll be fire. There's a really good pizza place there. I forget what it's called. I'm forgetting. Dude, probably, to be honest, I know a bunch of the guys, at least like, so I was good friends with this guy whose cousin was some people who watch this podcast will know I'm talking about, but cousin was working in Santana Row, and he says there's always Sharks players there. They like lived up in the lofts above it.
Yep. That's where they're going to live there. I already know it. They're two young stars. Still won't be known because it's San Jose. They won't know who the hell they are. But that's kind of the perk, honestly. Like for most of these players, like I think that's why they like it.
Yeah.
Is because you'll run into like the diehards, which is always fun to see.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be like swarmed like Steph Curry would be or Brock Purdy would be. Like you have freedom.
The only drawback to playing in San Jose is the taxes and the cost of living. But like at that point, you're making so much money that
it's like really like,
for Macklin Celebrini, you're making $10 million a year in a few years. Like, I don't think he really cares, right?
No.
Yeah, maybe once he's a little bit older, in his 30s, maybe he'll move to Florida or something like that, where he's not getting taxed. But at the same time, it's like if you build a legacy with one team, depending on the character of this player, you probably want to stick around, right? Maybe he'll retire in Vancouver. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But stick around, bud.
Yeah.
You want me to be a fan for life, you better stick
around. Yeah, Mac.
I'm going to love you no matter
keep
what.
Pumping you. Yeah.
I love you dearly. You're my savior. My king.
My savior. My king and my prince. The Fresh Prince
Don't post
of
this
San
on
Jose.
TikTok. I'll get roasted.
Yeah, no. We won't. The Fresh Prince of San Jose. Will Smith.
Yep.
King Macklin. And Pookie Yaroslav.
And William Eklund. He doesn't have a nickname. He's just Willie.
I heard he has a nickname, Slippery Pete. Is his nickname.
I thought it was someone calls him Daddy. I saw that and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Someone is it Mac? I think Wallman calls Macklin Puppy or something like that. Because of a Boss Man D'Lo song where it's like, she don't want a puppy, she want a big dog. And since he's little, they call him Puppy or something like that. I don't know. It's either him or Will Smith, but yeah, that's the inside scoop that we have as Sharks fans. So that's why you stick around and listen to the end for the Sharks rant. But that wraps it up for this week. Like I said, like, subscribe if you're new here. If you're a Sharks fan, especially, we are Sharks pumpers, tire pumpers. Always will be. We'll call shit out if we need to, but as of right now, there's really nothing to call out, if I got to be honest. Maybe call out Couture. But even then, it's like, it's fine. We love you. Couture, you know what you did.
Couture's done a lot for the franchise.
Exactly. So it's like, take your time. Take your time. We don't, love to see you play, but at the end of the day, do what's best for you, Couture.
Just,
everyone.
Like, forfeit your contract when you're done playing. That way we don't have to keep paying you $8 million.
That too.
That'd be awesome.
Please.
You want to be a homer? That'd be
or if you want to, like, structured out to like 20 years, so we're only paying you like $1 million a year or something like that.
Rick
like that.
DiPietro contract.
Yeah. Like doesn't Ken Griffey Jr. still get paid?
Ken Griffey. I know there's one guy in baseball that's going to get paid for like the next 30 years.
I think it's Ken Griffey. I don't know.
I don't know.
Any baseball freaks out there, you can correct us, but
correct us. There's somebody who's getting paid for like the next stupid amount of time because he signed a contract in like the 80s. He gets like $1 million a year.
Genius.
I've watched videos on this before. I just forget who the hell it was.
Yeah.
But if Kerr and Vlasic could do that, splash in free agency. There's going to be some big free agents this upcoming season.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're your source for the entertainment news and the funny side of hockey. That's what we are.
Yeah,
we have fun with this. Hope you guys have fun with it. But cheers to a new year, everyone. Hope you guys are sticking to your goals or resolutions. Don't give up. Now, if you're not doing dry January, good for you.
You said cheers.
I did.
I'm doing drunk January. I'm going to be drunk the whole time.
Yes. See, that is what we need. I know. Yeah. We're not doing that. I swear.
I've been red this entire episode.
It's because we're laughing and making fun of Canada. You look like Canada right now. All red. Because they're angry. True. Yeah. We would never. The Grizzlies would never lose.
Pause.
To Czechia.
Real quick before we sign off. Thank you, Czechia, for giving us one of the funniest jokes ever. You've now bounced Canada 2 years in a row. I know they beat you back when Bedard was still on the team. But we appreciate you. We love you. I think it's Michael Robel, your goalie, is going to be gross in the NHL. What was his name? Stonsel, I forget. No. You guys are going to be nasty for years to come. Cool to see an up-and-coming Hockey Nation.
Yeah.
But most importantly, I love you, Czechia. You're awesome.
You're awesome. We love you.
We love
and
you.
Everyone listening, we love you as well. Again, subscribe.
Not the Canadians.
Yeah. No. We do love you guys. As much as shit we give you, if you're listening, we do love you. If you sat through it and, maybe you got a little angry, got a little red like Alan and your flag, that's okay. That's because you're passionate about hockey, just like us. So if you did stick it out and you're Canadian, ultimately we do love you, but your team sucks. And we'll see you next week.